Spoilers because, uh, poop joke. Hello, awesome people on the internet. How's it going? How are things? How are you? No, really tell me. Actually, don't tell me. I don't care. Not really. I'm just a little guy on a screen. I don't have feelings or wants or dreams. Anyway, let's talk about spoof movies. Spoof movies are a collection of movies that poke fun at and parody either a group of movies or a genre of film as a whole. They are usually filled with references to the material they are making fun of, as well as a few nods to just general pop culture. While they are technically comedy movies, they vastly differ from most other types of comedy films. Because while most comedies tend to base themselves in at least a little bit of grounded reality, most spoof movies, they don't do that. These movies don't care about minor things like continuity or consistency or making sense. They will sacrifice everything, and I mean everything, for the joke. Whether it be from changing the film's tone entirely, bringing a character back from the dead with little to no explanation, to even pausing the movie and committing to a new and completely different plot, just to go back to the previous plot as if nothing happened. If you tried to follow any sort of ruling within a spoof movie, you would go insane. It's hopeless. Genuinely hopeless. Now, with all these things in mind, there is something we as a species have to ask. Can a spoof movie, a movie that takes as much liberties with its source material as the Liberty Bell, does that make sense? Can a movie that has, to be honest, basically no rules, can a movie like this be critiqued? Well, I was curious, so I tightened my belt, rolled up my sleeves, and then put my pajamas on and watched all 5 scary movies. And to that question of whether or not this type of movie can truly be judged, I firmly say, I don't know. Obviously, these movies are involved with horror, but I can't just discuss them like I would any other movie I've talked about. There's no stakes, nothing to be discussed, nothing to be digested. Not that there should be, I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into, but when the time finally came to rank the scary movie franchise, I really struggled on just how I should make my list. But eventually, I decided that when it came to this specific ranking video, I just judged them based on which ones made me laugh the most, which I think is pretty fair, you know, none of us are exactly watching these for the plot. We just put on these dumb movies to get a good chuckle out of some dumb jokes. And after having watched them, I can happily say that most of them kind of, sort of, a little bit accomplished that one mission. Kind of. Alright, no more intro. I, the Great Crusader, with 3 R's, proudly present to you all 5 scary movie movies, ranked! Wow, that opening scene from Scary Movie 4 is really funny. Having Shaq and Dr. Phil solve a saw trap together? Genius! What a good intro. As for the rest of the movie, well, it's pretty fucking boring. Scary Movie 4 is one of the most ineffective comedies I have ever seen. I genuinely feel so little about this film that there is almost nothing to talk about. The jokes are so mediocre. I mean, none of them were ever painfully unfunny, but also, there was very rarely one that actually managed to make me laugh. I mean, like I said, the intro was funny, and so was any scene with Leslie Nielsen, but I mean, water is wet, what's new? But like, other than that, I mean, the part where they get beat up by some random village girls was pretty good. I guess the Michael Jackson bit kinda made me chuckle. Yeah, dude, for the most part, I just did not laugh. At one point, a little ghost kid and the main character Cindy speak Japanese to each other. Except they're not actually speaking Japanese. They're just saying random Japanese company names. How creative. This movie chooses some odd films to spoof, mainly choosing Saw, War of the Worlds, and The Village. Saw I understand, but like, is War of the Worlds even a horror movie? And it's like the main one that they spoof, which I thought was a very weird choice. And then they did The Village. I refuse to believe that The Village was so mainstream when it came out that it deserved recognition from Scary Movie. What else happened? There's a bunch of slapstick. Some of it is okay, but there's honestly so much of it that after a while it became really old. I'm sorry, but seeing the little girl get maimed for the 100th millionth time does not hold the same effect as it did the first time. I am honestly really grasping here just to keep talking about this movie, and frankly, I'd just like to move on. Overall, Scary Movie 4 is a movie that tries to keep your attention, but ultimately fails and provides minimal chuckles throughout its runtime. 5 out of 10. I will forget this movie by the time the video is over.
What the? Ah! That's not funny!
So, imagine Scary Movie 1 is this pizza you just got from your favorite pizza place. The crust is still hot, the cheese is still gooey, and it's covered in all your favorite toppings. Now imagine that same pizza, but kept in the fridge for over a week and then nuked in the microwave. And you've got a pretty good idea on the quality of Scary Movie 2. Scary Movie 2 is a movie of all time. I don't know. This one chooses to parody Poltergeist, The Exorcist, and I think The Haunting. None of which are movies that I feel particularly strong for. Just like 4, the first scene was very funny, but going past that, I honestly felt barely anything watching it. Except this time, there were at least a couple more jokes that actually landed. Especially the joke with the clown from Poltergeist. That shit had me squealing. Dwight was pretty funny too, and so were the other side characters, I guess. The part where Dwight and the creepy hand guy just start roasting the fuck out of each other was pretty funny too. Cindy and the love interest guy had some good chemistry, mostly. I don't think we needed a scene of her jacking him off in a freezer. It was very gross. In fact, there's a lot of gross out humor in this one that I was not fond of. It also really angers me that this movie literally had Tim f***ing Curry, then did barely anything with him and killed him off halfway through the runtime. Are you stupid? You hardly had him even do anything, and then just booted him from the movie? What a waste. Let's see, what else? The parrot was really annoying, and you know what, I guess that's it. Slightly better than 4, but still an immensely forgettable and underwhelming movie. Fucking 5.5 out of 10, I guess.
He's kinda funny.
So here's where things get complicated. Scary Movie 5 is a movie that should be at the bottom of the list. I mean, on paper, it should be the worst. It gets rid of the franchise's titular main character, Cindy, in exchange for another female protagonist that is essentially the same person. It is filled to the brim with horrible gross-out humor and stupid jokes that were genuinely painful to sit through. All in all, this movie has the worst attributes out of the entire franchise. But then again, for every awful joke, there was another one that actually was really funny. Funnier than anything located in 4 or 2. Well, besides that one clown bit from 2. But besides that, the jokes in 5 that did land really landed. Though at a cost. Since there was a good joke for every bad one, that of course means that for every good joke, there was one that was oh so bad. For every scene where there's a pool cleaner pool party, we have a scene where the maid does maid stuff in her sleep. And then she hits a piñata. Get it? Do you get it, guys? How smart. For every scene where a car just fucking explodes randomly for no reason, there is a scene where we see a monkey throw literal shit at the wall. Awesome. For every Snoop Dogg cameo, there was a Medea cameo. Ugh. But honestly, to me, the good was at least a tiny bit more memorable than the bad. Sure, there's a bunch of uncreative gross out jokes, but there's a bunch of slapstick that's actually really well done. I can't explain it, but whenever the camera started to speed up what was going on, it made the movie somehow infinitely funnier. At one point, the maid started chasing the dad on a lawnmower, something that shouldn't be funny just on its own, but then they just speed up the footage, and for some reason I just couldn't stop laughing at it. This movie chooses to parody Paranormal Activity 2, Mama, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which are good movies I have watched. It also parodied the Evil Dead remake, and oddly enough, Black Swan? Odd choice, but whatever, I guess. If they needed to bring Black Swan into this movie solely so we could watch this scene where this lady in crutches beats the shit out of this bathroom stall for no reason, then you know what? I won't question it. I'm telling you, I went into this one thinking it would be by far the worst one, but it wasn't. It was actually really funny. Why do people not like this one? Oh yeah, the piss and shit jokes. Yeah, I reiterate, this movie's comedy is the equivalent of using a fucking monkey's paw, because there are straight up so many bad jokes found within here as well. From the maid taking a shit, to the maid trying to get the dad to eat shit, to the ghost sticking the mom's toothbrush up the dog's butt, getting shit particles on it. I don't recommend eating while watching this one. Straight up, every joke was either laugh out loud funny or terrible. There was scarcely an in-between. It's really a shame, because if someone with a brain had just gone through the movie's script and filtered out all the awful attempts at comedy, we would really have a banger on our hands. But unfortunately, while this movie did cause me to throw out some hearty chuckles every now and then, due to its abhorred inconsistency, I can't really allow myself to give a score higher than like a 6 out of 10. But I'm not happy about it. Really goes to show that when it comes to movies like this, quality is much better than quantity. God, I'm so wise.
That actually is pretty funny.
Yeah, the first Scary Movie is pretty funny. I don't really think I have much else to say. It was just pretty funny. Lots of clever jokes and stuff. I liked the part where Cindy's boyfriend tried to undress her and got electrocuted. That was funny. Oh, and so was the gag of Cindy's dad being a drug dealer. Of course, the Ghostface parody guy was really funny. You know, you got the classic, the wise up. It sounds funnier in the movie. What more can a guy ask for? Doofy was also really funny. The actor playing him did an amazing job. I don't know how the other actors got through their lines with a straight face. I mean, just look at them. The part where Ray says he's not gay after spending the entire movie being the most gay person in the history of gay is never not hilarious. The scene where Ghostface raps while killing a whole group of people is peak cinema. Speaking of cinema, the part where Brenda gets murdered by a group of people for being annoying in a movie theater was very satisfying to watch. And I think we should implement something similar to this in real life for people that actually act like this. But like with water balloons or something. Filled with acid. What else? I liked the intro scene. I loved the part where Cindy's grandma got flattened by a piano. At one point there was a horse in a garage and I thought that was pretty epic. This movie just has a lot of good comedy going for it. It mainly parodies Scream, but I also loved this one part when it just turned into I Know What You Did Last Summer for like one scene. It was so stupid, but I was so engaged with it I didn't care. I will say, of course, not every single joke landed. Obviously, none of the Scary Movies are 100% perfect with their humor, but it felt especially prevalent in the first outing that they were really just throwing every single joke they had at the wall, hoping most would stick. And to be fair, most did stick. The only thing I didn't totally love was, I guess Shorty was kind of whatever. Marlon Wayans is a funny actor, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, he just felt a little one note for me. All in all, Scary Movie is a classic spoof movie. One that you could put on at any time with people of all varying horror movie knowledge and always have a damn funny experience. A strong 7 out of 10. But alas, there exists but one more Scary Movie that is just a tad bit funnier.
Oh, that's actually hilarious.
Sorry boys, but Scary Movie 3 is just so fucking funny. I couldn't not give it the #1 spot. It was by far the one that had me cackling the most. What a consistently funny little banger of a spoof movie. Where do I begin? This one parodies The Ring as well as Signs. They also parody the Eminem rap battle. What the fuck? But they do such a good job with it, I don't even care. When the girl on the phone said 7 days, and then Cindy asked if holidays counted, I fucking lost it. The slapstick in this one is on another level. The part where Cindy fucking catapults the little 6th Sense kid into the air with her car. The fucking face he makes before the car hits him. I just can't, guys. Simon Cowell being at the fucking rap battle was so nuts, I loved it. Oh my god. The funeral scene. Oh my god, the funeral scene might be one of the funniest scenes in this entire franchise. It's awake, George. She's awake? Oh, that's the last time I ever tried to bring someone back from the dead. It's so fucking stupid, and I could not be happier. Leslie Nielsen is in this one, and he makes the movie so much better. While he was also in Scary Movie 4, his scenes in that one felt very disconnected from the actual movie. Here, though, he's with the actual characters and is actually enhancing the already funny comedy. I haven't even mentioned the aliens that just kick you in the balls to say goodbye, or the fucking Matrix scene, or the part where they send the Hood to fight the aliens and they all just end up shooting each other. What more can I say? This one is just so fucking hilarious that it even outdoes the very first film. It is simply that good. So yeah, Scary Movie 3 is a hilarious sequel with funnier jokes, smarter references, and yeah, just simply put, just funnier jokes. 8 out of 10. uh. Well, this ended up being much simpler than my usual ranking videos. These movies overall were okay, I guess. If I'm being honest, the only ones I would ever watch again are probably just 1 and 3. Mostly 3, though. The rest I'm probably fine with never touching again. I'm not a huge fan of the strategy of just tossing an infinite amount of jokes at the viewer and hoping most will be funny. It may have worked in some of these, but it really dilutes the actually good jokes. Even the ones I like have the occasional gag that really doesn't work too much, but is thankfully overshadowed by the jokes that are good. I really wish I was able to spin more in this video than just, this one wasn't funny. This one was funny. I don't know, I guess I'm just not as passionate about these movies as I thought I would be. But anyway, like and subscribe and all that. Let me know if you want me to rank any other epic horror movie franchises. I also have a little playlist of franchises I've already ranked, so you know, you could hit that up if you want. Now, allow me to say goodbye. Goodbye!